She's been drifting with me for 32 years.
Okay, you get to start though. That's what our notes say. Nancy wanted me to have a phone.
Oh, okay. We live out about 13 miles west of St. Cloud, out in the woods on Knightwood Road. I see Bob Becker and his son Tom are here. They've got a camera. Now, here I'm drifting, but
yeah, we're drifting. I wasn't in the story, but that's okay. Well,
they have a camera in the woods up there, and 3 or 4 years ago they had a picture of a moose on it. But anyway, so we're out in the boonies, and Nancy was working in town, and I'm out there alone. I'm getting older, you know. I might have a heart attack.
That was many years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time. So anyway, we decided I probably should have a phone out there.
Yeah, I had a cell phone, and I could get a bargain at work, so we thought that maybe he should have one. Of course, you know, there's a learning curve with that, so we weren't quite sure how that was going to pan out.
And in her work, she is a therapist, psychologist. She needed a cell phone 24/7, and she'd always have a good one. And then guess what happened? Tell them what happened. You got a cheap phone for me.
I graduated up to a little bit more technical phone, and I gave him Old Blue. Now, that was when the phones were pretty big, you know, and they were thick. You couldn't just stick them in a pocket any place, and so it was just one. It didn't flip or anything, and it certainly didn't have nice screens like now. So, we didn't name it right away. It became affectionately known as Old Blue with time, but anyway, so he had this blue phone that was maybe 5 inches tall and about 2 inches thick.
It was plastic.
Yeah.
And hers, of course, her phone was a nice shiny phone.
Oh yeah, I was the one working.
But
really tired.
I was doing quite a bit of horseback riding in other states or wherever. And I developed a love-hate relationship with Old Blue. Sometimes it was great. Sometimes, you know, it wasn't so good. Once I was in St. Augusta, I couldn't reach St. Cloud. It's too far away.
And I should say, he knew that Verizon Wireless guy's name by name. I mean, you know, he'd been in there so many times, because I'd say, I can't help you. Go in and just have him help you. Okay, so anyway. Okay, so the battery died.
What's that?
The battery died.
The battery died in Old Blue.
Yeah, and so I said, this was back when phones were cheap. I said, well, it'll cost $30 to get a battery, and it'll cost me $50 to get a new phone for you. So let's get you a new phone instead of putting money into the battery. So that's what we did. I got him a silver one, a flip-flop, you know, flipped over, and it was a few more learning curves. But anyway, you know, so he has a silver phone now. And we have Old Blue just sitting around.
Well, that was kind of an adjustment. Do I have a new phone now?
Yeah, you have a new phone now.
And I'd take that and go into Verizon, and I'd say, look, I don't need this to deal square root, or, you know, or take my picture or any of that. But if the house is on fire, or if I'm having a heart attack, I want to be able to make a phone call. You know? And so that took a little while. There's a learning curve there. And, so then.
But yes, and I wanted him to somehow destroy my old phone, because I was back when I didn't know what to do with them. And I had private information in there, and I just didn't want to throw it away, you know. So I said, well, Don, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here.
She's kind of private about that. Her work necessitated that, too. But she said there's important information in this, and she said, I don't know how to get rid of it. And I said, well, I know what I would do if it were me. Now, a lot of my ideas she doesn't go for. Like when I had that quick bee's nest over my riding arena. Bees and horses don't work well together. And I couldn't reach it with a couple hockey sticks duct taped together. And so I got my shotgun out and I shot it down.
Now, how many of you would have thought of that? His brother Tom, that's the only one.
I would call Tom later and I started telling him the story about the trouble I was having. He said, why didn't you shoot it? So anyway.
So you come to me and say, I've got to wait.
Yes, and so I'm going to take it down to the barn sometime, and I'm going to put it on a concrete floor, and I'm going to hit it with a hammer a couple times, and nobody's going to get any information. And you know what? She sort of thought that probably would work. And so...
This was the day before vacation. I wanted the phone to strike before then, so...
So she wasn't home. I was down at the barn. I thought, this is a good time to kill that phone. But I thought when I hit it with a hammer, the glass is going to fly. And my safety glasses, the elastic was shot. And so there was a big orange Turkish towel there on one of the horse stalls. And I spread that out on the concrete floor, put the phone on that, and I folded it over. And I thought when I hit the towel, then the glass won't fly. And so I went to get my hammer. It was hanging there, but right by my hammer was a hatchet. It had a pistol grip instead of just a straight wood grip. It had a blunt end, blade on one side was flat on the other, and I got that. And I got down on one knee, and wham, I hit that thing. And I heard a little beep, beep, and I thought, like a little bird, I was killing it or something. And I put the towel back, and I looked, and it was still in one piece, so I put it down, and I really went after it. And then I took the towel off, and there it's in about 3 pieces, and I take it and put it in the wastebasket in the barn there. I hang up the towel, hang up my hatchet, and I walk. Some of you have been at our place. It's quite a ways to the house, maybe a couple 100 feet, and I feel pretty good, And when you open our door, the entryway.
We have a bench there.
We had a bench there, and Nancy likes to keep that unencumbered, I'll say. And so I open that door, and I go to step in, and on the bench there's one thing and one thing only. It's Old Blue.
He had killed the wrong phone. He had smashed their silver phone. Didn't even look like Old Blue. And then it beeped and Barry was dead and shouldn't have said a word.
So then,
when did that happen?
Well, because it was your grandpa. So then, I had feelings like I've never had in my life. I'm not kidding you. I mean, usually I could figure out it was the weather, something was wrong.
Blame me.
Yeah, you're a lot of ways out. So I took a few deep breaths, and I applied one of Nancy's techniques in psychology, do a little self-talk. So I started talking to myself. So, it could be worse. Nobody got killed. And I kind of talked myself down a little bit. And then finally, I kind of cooled down, and so I went to the phone, and I called the guy at Verizon. And I didn't want to tell him who I was. So I said, this is Don Holden. I need a new phone. He said, what was the name again? So I said, Holden. He said, anything connected with Nancy Holden? I said, just a minute. And I said, well, yes, that's my wife. He said, well, what'd you do with that phone you just got? And I said, you don't want to know. So I thought I had never paid for a phone. I mean, I thought she could give me another cheap one or something. But I said, I thought we could get a new phone. And he said, that'd cost you about $275. Well, I used to sell used cars. I used to sell Ford cars. Anyway, I thought, well, I'll be in to see you. I went in and we had a little conference, and he sold me a used one for $85.
So that's Old Blue. Now we still have Old Blue. I didn't want to bring it because I would have given the story away.
No. I mean, what year was it when you tried to destroy Old Blue?
Oh man, Sarah, I'm not sure.
Oh boy, maybe 10 years ago?
When you were just a little girl, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.